Good morning, dear friend. Before you take another step into this Thursday, remember this. Some of the things you are already worrying about have not even happened yet, but your heart may already be carrying them as if they have. Maybe you woke up thinking about a decision you need to make, a conversation you cannot avoid, a bill that needs to be paid, someone in your family you are concerned about, or simply the long list of responsibilities waiting for you. Sometimes the day feels heavy before our feet even touch the floor. We wonder, am I making the right choice? Am I going in the right direction? What if something does not work out the way I hoped? I understand that feeling. We want to know what is coming. We want a clear map before we move. But this morning, perhaps we do not need to see the entire road. Perhaps we only need to know who is walking with us. Psalm 143:8 says, "Show me the way I should go, for to you I entrust my life." What a simple prayer for an uncertain day. Lord, show me the way. Not 10 steps from now, not every answer for next month. Show me where to place my feet today. God already sees the meeting you have not entered yet. He knows the conversation you have been rehearsing in your mind. He knows the door you hope will open, the answer you are waiting for, and the quiet fear you have not told anyone about. You do not have to carry this day alone. God sees you, and He is with you. So before the noise begins, before other voices start telling you what you should do, let this become the prayer of your heart. Lord, walk with me today. Walk with me when I feel confident. Walk with me when I hesitate. Walk with me when the path seems clear. And walk with me when I cannot see what comes next. I choose to trust you. I choose to follow you. I choose to place this day in your hands. Father, before I take another step, steady my heart and guide my feet. I do not need to understand your entire plan this morning. I only ask for enough faith to follow you, one step at a time. And there is something deeply comforting about admitting that we do not know what is ahead. We spend so much energy trying to predict outcomes, reading into conversations, wondering what people meant, replaying yesterday, and quietly preparing ourselves for problems that may never come. Maybe you are waiting for an answer about work. Maybe your finances feel uncertain. Maybe someone you love is going through something you cannot fix. Maybe you have several choices in front of you, and every choice seems to carry its own questions. That kind of uncertainty can wear on the heart. But God is not looking at your day with uncertainty. Nothing waiting around the corner is hidden from Him. He already knows the places where you will need wisdom, the moments when your patience will be tested, the unexpected change in your schedule, and the decision that may require you to slow down instead of rushing ahead. Proverbs chapter 3 verses 5 and 6 reminds us to trust in the Lord with all our heart, rather than depending only on our own understanding, and to acknowledge Him so He can direct our paths. That matters because our understanding is limited. We see what is happening right now. God sees beyond it. We notice the closed door. He knows what that closed door may be protecting us from. We become discouraged by a delay. He may be arranging something we cannot see yet. This is why morning prayers to start your day can become more than a routine. They can become a daily act of surrender, a quiet way of saying, "Father, I will not demand every answer before I trust you. I will not let uncertainty decide what I believe about your goodness. You know where I am. You know what I need. You know where this road leads." Dear friend, you are not required to figure out your entire life this morning. God sees you. God is with you. And sometimes peace begins when we stop asking for the whole map and simply trust the one who already knows the road. If that is the faith you want to carry today, write this declaration in the comments. God knows the way, and I trust His direction. Let those words become personal. Father, when my thoughts race ahead, bring me back to your presence. When I become impatient for answers, teach me to trust your timing. When I cannot understand what you are doing, remind me that I can still trust who you are. I may not know everything ahead of me, but you do. And for today, that is enough. And because you know the road, Father, I ask you to go ahead of me into every part of this day that I cannot see yet. Go before me into the conversations I will have. Go before me into my workplace, my responsibilities, my appointments, and the decisions that may come without warning. Go before me into the moments when I will need patience instead of frustration, wisdom instead of impulse, and courage instead of hesitation. There are things I can prepare for, but there are also things no amount of planning can predict. I have learned how quickly an ordinary day can change. One phone call can shift my attention. One unexpected expense can disturb my peace. One difficult conversation can stay in my thoughts for hours. That is why I do not want to depend only on my ability to manage everything. I need your presence ahead of me. Deuteronomy chapter 31 verse 8 reminds me that you go before your people, that you remain with them, and that you do not abandon them. Let that truth settle into my heart today. You are already present where I am going. You are already aware of what I will face. You are already preparing grace for moments I have not reached yet. So go before me, Lord. Walk beside me. Remain close within me. When I move too quickly, slow me down. When I become distracted, bring my attention back to what matters. When I feel pressure to have an immediate answer, remind me that wisdom does not always arrive in a hurry. God, you see my responsibilities, and you understand the weight I sometimes place on myself. You know how easily I can believe that everything depends on me, but it does not. I can prepare faithfully without carrying tomorrow on my shoulders. I can make plans while leaving room for you to redirect them. I can move forward without pretending that I know everything. There is relief in that. There is peace in knowing that I am never arriving somewhere before your presence does. Go before me in what is familiar and what is unexpected. Prepare my heart before each moment arrives, and give me enough grace for the step that is directly in front of me. And as you prepare me for the next step, Father, protect me from choosing a direction simply because it looks easier, faster, or more comfortable. I know how tempting it can be to assume that every open opportunity must be the right one. Sometimes I want an answer so badly that I can mistake my own impatience for certainty. Sometimes pressure makes me move before I have peace. Sometimes fear makes a safe choice look wise, when, deep inside, I know I am only trying to avoid uncertainty. So give me discernment today. Help me understand that not every open door is meant for me, and not every closed door is a rejection. Some delays may be mercy. Some interruptions may be direction. Some things I desperately want may not belong in the life you are shaping for me. Proverbs chapter 16 verse 9 reminds me that a person may plan the course of life, but you establish the steps. I need that reminder because I make plans. I make schedules. I picture how things should turn out. And when reality moves differently, I can become frustrated. Father, keep me from forcing what you are asking me to release. Keep me from saying yes because I am afraid of disappointing someone. Keep me from saying no because fear has convinced me that I am not ready. Guard me from decisions made only from emotion, pressure, comparison, or the need to prove something. Give me the courage to wait when waiting is wise, and the courage to move when it is time to move. Let your peace become stronger than the noise around me. There is a reason peaceful prayers matter so much on mornings like this. They remind my heart that guidance does not always arrive through urgency. Sometimes it comes quietly, with clarity that grows as I stay close to you. Dear God, when voices around me compete for my attention, help me recognize what leads toward truth, wisdom, grace, and peace. When my own thoughts become crowded, settle me. When I start overthinking every possibility, remind me that I do not have to solve 10 problems that have not happened. You see what I cannot see. You understand what I cannot understand yet. Protect my direction. Protect my timing. Protect my decisions. And if I begin moving towards something that is not right for me, make me willing to be redirected without resentment. I would rather change my plans with you than succeed at something that pulls my heart away from where you want me to be. And if you redirect me, Father, help me become quiet enough to notice. That is not always easy. My mind can get crowded before the day has really begun. There are responsibilities to remember, messages waiting for answers, plans I am trying to hold together, and concerns that keep returning even after I thought I had released them. Sometimes fear speaks loudly. Sometimes pressure sounds convincing. Sometimes my own desires become so strong that I start hearing only what I want to hear. So teach me to recognize your voice in the middle of all that noise. Jesus said in John chapter 10, verse 27, that his sheep hear his voice, he knows them, and they follow him. Father, I want that kind of closeness. Not just knowledge about you, but a heart that has learned your ways well enough to recognize when you are leading me. Let your truth be louder than my fear. Let your wisdom be stronger than my emotions. Let your direction matter more than the opinions that surround me. When anxiety tells me to hurry, teach me to wait. When insecurity tells me that I am falling behind, remind me that another person's pace is not the measure of my life. When pride makes me want to prove myself, bring me back to humility. And when I become so afraid of making the wrong decision that I make no decision at all, give me calm courage for the next faithful step. You know how exhausting overthinking can become. One question turns into 5. One possibility becomes 20 imagined outcomes. Before long, the heart is tired from carrying situations that have not even happened. But you are here. You see me. You understand the confusion beneath the surface, and I do not have to untangle every thought by myself. Quiet what needs to become quiet in me. Correct what needs to be corrected. Make clear what truly matters. I do not want fear leading me. I do not want pressure leading me. I do not want my feelings to become my only compass. Teach me to listen with patience, to test what I hear against your truth, and to remain close enough to recognize your gentle direction, your voice above my fear, your wisdom above my feelings, your will above my own plans. And Father, if your will matters more than my own plans, then I do not want to hold those plans with a closed hand. I bring them to you now, the schedule I have already arranged, the goals I have been working toward, the answer I hope to receive, the opportunity I want to work out, the relationship I wish would change, the financial situation I keep trying to solve in my head, even the picture I have created of how the next few months should look. I place it all before you. This is difficult sometimes, because surrender sounds peaceful until it touches something I deeply want. I can say that I trust you and still quietly hope you will simply approve everything I have already decided. But I do not want to ask you to bless a direction you never asked me to take. I want something deeper than that. I want your wisdom more than my preferred outcome. I want your timing more than my impatience. I want your purpose more than my need to control what happens next. So if something needs to change, change it. If something needs more time, teach me to wait without becoming bitter. If I am holding on to an expectation that is keeping me from seeing what you are doing now, help me release it. Romans chapter 12 verse 2 reminds me that as my mind is renewed, I can better recognize what your will is, what is good and pleasing and perfect. Renew my thinking today. I surrender the belief that everything must happen according to my timeline for my life to be moving forward. I surrender the fear that a delay means to read. You have forgotten me. I surrender the pressure to keep up with people whose journey is different from mine. You have not lost sight of me. You are not confused about my future. You are not late. That gives my heart room to rest. Father, take my plans, my expectations, my ambitions, and even the things I am afraid to release. I choose to trust you with what stays and what changes. I choose to trust you with the doors that open and the ones that remain closed. I choose to trust you when your direction makes sense to me and when it does not make sense yet. Shape my desires until they agree with what is good. Give me a willing heart, not merely an informed mind. I do not want to spend this day asking you to follow me. I want the humility and faith to follow where you lead. Then lead me, Father, into the ordinary details of this day, because that is where I need your guidance most. Guide my thoughts before they shape my attitude. Guide my words before I speak too quickly. Guide my reactions when something does not go the way I expected. Give me wisdom in my work, whether today feels meaningful or simply full of routine responsibilities that still need to be done well. Help me handle money with wisdom instead of fear. Lead me in every conversation, especially the difficult ones, where it would be easy to become defensive, impatient, or misunderstood. Give me grace with my family. Help me notice when someone I love needs encouragement more than advice. Show me when to speak and when listening would be better. Father, guide the opportunities that come before me. If an opportunity is right for me, give me clarity to recognize it. If something looks attractive but would pull me away from what matters, give me enough peace to walk away from it. Direct my schedule, because I know how quickly a busy day can become a distracted day. Keep me from rushing through people just to finish another task. Keep me present. This is where daily faith becomes real to me, not only in the big decisions, but in the small choices nobody else notices. The tone of my voice, the patience I show, the thoughts I allow to stay, the way I respond when plans change, the kindness I offer when I am tired. Father, you care about all of it. Psalm 32 verse 8 reminds me that you instruct and teach me in the way I should go, and that you counsel me with your loving care. So counsel me today. Lead my mind, lead my words, lead my work, lead my finances, lead my relationships, lead my decisions, lead my steps. And when I become overwhelmed by everything that seems to need my attention at once, bring me back to what is directly in front of me. I do not have to carry the whole day in one moment. You are with me here. You will be with me in the next moment too. Give me wisdom for what is mine to do, grace for what I cannot control, and a steady heart that keeps returning to you throughout this day. So, Father, stay close as I move through everything this day may bring. When I feel sure of myself, keep my heart humble enough to seek you. When I feel uncertain, keep me from believing that uncertainty means I am alone. Be near when things go according to plan, and be just as near when the schedule changes, the answer is delayed, or something I expected does not happen. I need you in both places. Lead me when the next step seems obvious. Lead me when I have no idea what the next step should be. Lead me through opportunities that bring peace, and give me patience around doors that remain closed. When joy finds me today, help me receive it with gratitude instead of rushing past it. When disappointment finds me, remind me that one difficult moment does not define the whole day. When uncertainty returns, and I know it probably will, steady me again. I do not want to pretend that faith means I never feel nervous or confused. Sometimes I will. Sometimes my thoughts will run ahead. Sometimes I will wonder whether I heard you correctly. In those moments, bring me back. Lead me. Correct me. Protect me. Strengthen me. Stay near me. If my attitude begins to drift, correct me gently. If I become impatient with someone, soften my response before frustration takes over. If fear starts making decisions for me, remind me that fear does not know my future. You do. If I become tired and lose perspective, give me enough strength for the next small thing, not everything at once. Your grace is enough for this moment. Your wisdom is enough for this decision. Your presence is enough for this road. Father, I trust you in what I understand, and I trust you in what remains unclear. I trust you with the good news I hope to receive, and with the answer that may look different from what I wanted. I trust you when I feel strong. I trust you when I need help. Keep drawing my attention back to you throughout the day, in the car, at work, at home, during a quiet moment, or in the middle of a busy afternoon. Let my heart keep returning to this simple dependence. Lead me, steady me, teach me, remain with me. I do not need to control every mile ahead. I only need grace for the ground beneath my feet and faith for the next step you place before me. And as I take that next step, Father, I place the rest of this day back into your hands. I do not know every turn ahead, and I no longer need to pretend that I do. My peace does not come from having every answer. My peace comes from knowing that you are faithful. So I return to the declaration I made earlier, and I say it again with deeper trust. God knows the way, and I trust his direction. When I am tempted to rush ahead, remind me of those words. When I begin questioning every decision, bring them back to my heart. God knows the way, and I trust his direction. I will not allow fear to become my guide. I will not force what you have asked me to release. I will not measure your faithfulness by how quickly my circumstances change. I choose to trust you. I choose to follow you. I choose to receive the grace you give me for today. Let this powerful morning prayer remain with me long after these words become quiet. May your wisdom shape my choices, your peace settle my thoughts, and your presence make me more patient, more gracious, and more attentive to the people around me. Bless my home and the people I love. Bless the work of my hands. Give me wisdom with my finances, clarity in my decisions, kindness in my conversations, and strength for every responsibility that belongs to me today. And Father, I also pray for every person sharing this moment with me. May they feel your nearness this morning, through a busy afternoon, and in every unexpected moment between. If these prayers have become a place of comfort in your daily life, you can gently support this channel and the people who faithfully prepare these videos through the giving options available here. There is never any pressure. Your presence here already means more than you know. And if you would like to help these prayers reach someone else who may need encouragement today, simply liking this video and subscribing is a meaningful way to walk with this community each morning. Father, bless every person listening, every family represented, and every quiet concern being placed before you right now. May we move forward without needing to see the entire road, trusting that your grace will meet us when the next step arrives. Keep our hearts close to you, our minds at peace, and our lives open to your direction. We place what we know and what we cannot yet see into your faithful hands. In Jesus' name, Amen.